the biggest crime of Atlantis Milo's Return is that despite a very obviously cheap animation budget and, obvious identity as a cheap cash-in, which is strange seeing how the first film was not a huge box office hit, it's that at first it actually kind of has an interesting story. Yeah, at first I was kinda sucked in by it. Despite all the bad jokes and awkward drawn scenes and... Alright, let's look at the story. Milo is still living with Kita in Atlantis, but all his friends return saying that apparently some sort of Atlantean monster is attacking a bunch of ships. Confused by this, Kita journeys to the surface world, bringing Milo along with her, and they try to figure out if this monster is an actual monster or one of the Atlantean machines, or maybe something else. Or even someone else. They go on land, come across this creepy village, talk to all these semi-creepy people, and the more and more they find out about this mystery, the more questions it seems to raise. There's actually a lot of talking and even kind of ominous dread, and I mean that in the best way. Even though it wasn't animated the best, I was actually finding it kind of interesting. But here's the thing, when they do find out what's going on and what's behind it, it seems to raise even more questions. Well, that's fine, but we never get the answers. There's questions about where the person who's doing this came from and how he's able to do what he's doing. Is he even doing what he's doing? Is he controlling the monsters? The monster controlling him? How can he possess other people? Is he possessing other people? It looks like he has to look into their eyes. Wait, now he doesn't need to look in their eyes. How does this work? And just as it's getting interesting, they completely drop the story. Yeah, they defeat the bad guy, and then they go to a completely different story. Now it takes place in the Wild West, and there are these wind coyotes, and, some guy's shit is stolen, and they have to get it back, but there's this Native American who can control the wind coyotes, and it somehow connects to the Atlantean stuff. But it doesn't stop there. It then goes to another story where this crazy guy thinks he's Odin and he steals this spear that has Atlantean technology, which actually kind of makes him Odin now. And he confuses Kita for his daughter, Brunhilde, and shit, this is just another pilot for a TV show, isn't it? That explains why the animation looks this way and why all the stories don't really connect that well. Damn it! At least with Tarzan and Jane, I knew it was gonna be a pilot to a TV show. This tried harder and fooled me into thinking it was gonna be something that tries hard throughout the whole thing. I guess it does technically have an ending, and yeah, actually the ending's not that bad. It even kind of retcons the ending of the first film, but it's weird. When you see the choice she makes, you understand her reasoning, but there's also like a ton of dangers that happen throughout this film to go against her reasoning too. I'm not saying what happens is the wrong choice, I'm saying they never explain the actual dangers that could come along with it, and that's very important to address. So yeah, I guess in terms of other technicals, the voice actors are all replacements, and they do a good job. The animation, like I said, is a huge budget cut, but for kinda TV animation, I guess it's fine. Sometimes there's a really inventive idea, like there's this annoying dog that kinda sucks, but he was born in molten lava, so he'll constantly do things like just sleep in a fireplace. That's kinda creative. And again, when they're actually kind of talking about this Atlantean stuff, it is kind of interesting. Kinda like the first film in that respect. But sadly, it just doesn't stay focused, and I don't even know if it was actually meant to stay focused. This was probably supposed to be 3 episodes that were gonna be connected, like I said, as a pilot of a TV show. A TV show that never got off the ground. I mean, okay, I don't have confirmation of this, but if it wasn't, then this really is the most fragmented direct-to-DVD sequel ever. So I guess it's not awful, it's just not needed and not that interesting through the majority of it. Like I said, with the exception of that first third. But even then, that's not great, it's just telling an interesting story that never really has any conclusion or answers. I guess if you really liked the first Atlantis movie and you just want to see a little bit more of the technology, world, and ideas, you'll get hints of it here. But if you're looking for something more, this is something that should definitely stay sunk.